Forest Lawn.
After 8 years of Liberal failures, families can't afford groceries. 8 years ago, $200 went a long way at the grocery store. And today, after Liberal inflation, $150 barely gets 3 bags. Not only are the Liberals going to take more in taxes, they're going to drive up the cost of groceries when they triple their failed carbon tax. 1 in 5 Canadians are already skipping meals. Imagine how much worse things are going to get. Will the Liberal Prime Minister finally take some responsibility for causing this inflationary crisis, stop breaking Canada, and axe his failed carbon tax?
The Honourable Minister for Families.
As everyone in this House knows, as of January, fees for childcare have been reduced 50% across the country.
Exactly.
And I asked families to tell me what that means to them. So let me give you some examples. Just paid our January daycare fees, under $500. This is a 55% reduction from last year. This is going to make such a huge difference for so many families. Another quote, we are finally seeing real reductions in our daycare costs. It's genuinely life-changing to see fees reduced by just over 50%. This is how you support families. This is how you achieve real equity in the workforce. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Calgary, Forest Lawn.
Dr. Seuss over there is living in fantasy world. What the Liberal government really should be focused on is the price of corruption. Like $15 billion going to Liberal insiders on cushy contracts, thousands of dollars going to ministers' besties, and thousands going to racists like Laith Maruth. Random Liberals like Bill No More and Mark Carney also agree they overspent and pile-drove Canadians with inflation. Will they finally take some damn responsibility, rein in their spending, and axe their failed carbon tax?
The Honourable Minister for Families.
You know, Mr. Speaker, I actually read Dr. Seuss quite a bit with my son at night, and he has some pretty good lessons that I think the Conservatives could learn if they wanted to open up his book.
Many lessons.
In fact, you know, one of those lessons is actually about protecting our environment. When he talks about the truffula trees, it's about protecting what we have, the clean air, the clean water, making sure that we protect that for generations to come. If my opposition colleague would like to learn more, I invite him to open the books. He might have more compassion
you can read it to them.
for Canadians. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Sarnia-Lambton.
Let's skip with the fantasy. Mr. Speaker, I'm a numbers girl, so here's the numbers. 8 long years under this Prime Minister, 40-year highs in inflation, food prices 10% up, and they're going to triple the carbon tax. You know what that adds up to? 67. That's the percent of people that think Canada is broken. So will this Prime Minister take responsibility for breaking the country, or will he get out of the way and let us fix it?
The Honourable Minister of the Environment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My son, like tens of thousands of our kids in this country, is a huge fan of hockey. And what he likes above all is to be able to play it outside. Well, unfortunately, because of climate change, he will no longer be able to do this. This year, Mr. Speaker, for the first time in 51 years, the Rideau Canal won't be able to open.
I'm going to have to interrupt the Honourable Minister. I'm having a hard time hearing. I know there's a very strong voice coming from right here. It prevents me from hearing. I'm going to have to ask him to start over again so that I can hear his full answer. The Honourable Minister, from the top, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. As I was saying, my son, like tens of thousands of our kids across this country, loves to play hockey, and what he loves above all is to be able to play it outside. Well, because of climate change in this hockey-playing country, it's becoming less and less possible to do so. This year, for the first time in 51 years, the Rideau Canal is still not open and probably won't be able to open. And what is the response from the Conservative Party of Canada? Make pollution free again, Mr. Speaker. Well, no reckless policies from this reckless party on this side of the House, Mr. Speaker. Thank you very much.
Member for Sarnia-Lambton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The reality is they've never met a single one of their emissions targets. They don't have an environment plan. They have a tax plan. And you know what, Mr. Speaker? His answer is no help at all to John in my riding. John is struggling with the rising cost of gas, groceries, and home heating. At 74 years old, on a fixed income, he's had to go back to work. And so, really, will the Prime Minister axe the tax so John can keep the heat on?
The Honourable Minister for Natural Resources.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
less than 2 years ago, the Conservative Party took the position that climate change wasn't even real. Then last year, the leadership went through a process where they actually put together a climate plan, the centerpiece of which was a price on pollution. All of the Conservative members in this House were elected on a platform that included a price on pollution. Now, once again, under a new leader, they've stopped talking about climate change and they attack the idea of pollution pricing. Mr. Speaker, given their history, how can Canadians believe anything they say?